Yeah, honestly, there's some things we gotta talk about, but I promise we'll get through it if you hear me out. You've been crippled by fear and you've been drowning in doubt, but if we work together, we will figure it out. Honestly, this is not a love song. It's a song for the world who's been loved wrong. It's a song for the people who trying to stay strong in the world where the leaders don't even know what's going on. It's something that should be talked about. What's good, people? What's good? Welcome to episode 2 of Something That Should Be Talked About show. In the studio today, we have a wonderful extra guest. Now, you heard her in the last episode, but now you're actually able to see her in this episode. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Flo.
Flo, the one and only.
Last time you heard me. Now you can see me.
Exactly. And obviously, we have the wonderful, I call her T.
Yes. Everybody can call me T.
Everyone can call her T.
Just don't call me Ty.
Ah! She said, I'm not a boy. So today, we got some stuff to talk about. But before we get into that, you already know what time it is. We're about to get into game time. Yes, sir.
Game time.
All right, so game time today is going to be taboo. I don't know if I can't say taboo. I don't know. We ain't that popular lit. So
yeah.
We
Should
good.
be fine. You don't have the logo.
Exactly. So we're playing taboo. Put the mic closer to your mouth a little bit so they can hear you. There you go. There you go. So we're playing taboo. And these are our contestants up here, okay? I will be the host today. And taboo, if you don't know, is where we have these cards, right? And there is this little thing at the top. It's called a word that I can't say. And I can't say any of these other words unless they say the word. So my job is to get them to guess what word is on the card. So how we're playing it is whoever gets the words first wins. Y'all got it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not just win. Whoever gets the word first gets a point. And the first person to get to 7 points wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got it?
Yeah.
All right. Make sure y'all don't cheat. Let me turn a little bit around. Okay.
Shuffle.
Okay. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Cue the music. All right. First word. This is, let's see. This is something that you use when you are tug of war.
Rope.
Yes,
Mm.
you got it first.
Mm-hmm.
That's your card. All right. This right here is known in New York. It's a food.
Pizza.
Boom. She's on a roll.
I would have thought Chicago. I didn't know New York's is.
The sandwich came up to my mind first, and I was like, "Oh, New York."
Okay.
See, Chicago got the deep dish.
Gotcha.
New York is known for the pizza.
Okay.
A regular pizza. All right. This person. Oh, y'all ain't gonna get that one. Okay. Steve Harvey is the host of this.
Family
Morning
Guy.
show. Family Feud.
Family Guy. Family Guy.
She is on a roll right now.
She is.
All right. We just celebrated this time.
New Year's.
A little further back.
Christmas.
Yes. And during Christmas, there's this thing that is hung.
Star.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
I'm saying everything wrong.
All right. Katniss Everdeen.
Hunger Games.
Jeez, that was a
Jeez,
tie.
yeah,
I can't give that
was-
one.
yeah.
All right. When you are, this is a tough one. When you are in elementary
School.
when you are in school, you are behind a what?
Desk.
Yes. There you go. All right. Pro-choice or pro-life had a slogan that said, my blank, my blank.
My choice, my right.
No. Okay.
My right.
It has to do with science. It's another word for another word.
Okay. Okay. That didn't
Anatomy.
Yes.
Okay.
See?
get me. Oh, I
Just
was
guess.
like, what?
All right. They are the. They are in the your bins outside.
Recycle.
Trash.
Yes, so they're in your trash outside.
Water bottles.
It is a
Trash bags.
living thing.
Raccoon.
Dang it.
She got it. All right. On what's it called? Snapchat.
Stories.
Filter.
Boom.
All right. Hold on.
What you got? What you got?
Oh,
You got
yeah,
four?
4, yeah.
You got three?
No, I got 4.
We got 4. All right, it's a tie game.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'll go with this one. Okay. When it's nighttime and you go to
The store. Sleep.
sleep
In a bed.
in a
Dream.
bed, and you put on.
Pajamas.
Boom.
Yes, sir.
All right. Dang, that's crazy. Well, Twitter.
Tweet. Bird. Blue.
Twitter.
I'm gonna
Now
use
known as.
X.
Okay.
Elon Musk.
Yes.
Oh.
Wow. How many you got?
Oh.
Y'all
I
gotta
got
keep
6.
count. You got 6?
Yeah.
All right, this is
Elon
game
Musk.
point for you.
That's a hard. Could you have said Tesla?
No, I couldn't say Tesla.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
How can I say this? Women tend to wear this
Dress.
Skirt.
on their hand.
Gloves.
Bracelet. Ring.
Rings.
Nails.
Wow.
Like what?
Every human
Wow.
has these on their hands.
And how many you got?
I have 4.
You got 4. Jeez. Now, hopefully next time you do better.
Oh my gosh, I did pretty good.
No,
you didn't.
yeah, really, because I was like, oh yeah, I got it, and then she was like, oh nope.
So that was our game time. You get your prize tomorrow. So we are going to move on to our topic of the day. Co-host T.
Yes.
You want to introduce it?
Yes. So what made me want to talk about this topic actually is I had a conversation with my friend, a couple of my friends actually, about whether or not I should download a dating app. And so the topic of the day is, should people, let me make sure I read this right. Is meeting someone in person or on social media better nowadays? And social media being any platform, dating apps, Instagram, whatever. And the reason why I was having this discussion is because I was having a lot of resistance to it. I'm a person that likes to let things just like flow naturally. So if I would want things to happen in person, but I am also, as much as I like going out, I am not a social person. So it's like, should I download a dating app, or should I not even to date people, just to have interactions with more people so I can experience things with other people also? But yeah, that was the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic.
So did the real question is, did you ever end up downloading that dating app?
I did, actually.
She did.
Twice.
Okay.
I deleted it, was over it, and then I
which one,
re-downloaded
Tinder?
it. No, Tinder is only for hookups.
Apparently.
Yeah. No, I Hinge.
Hinge.
Wow.
I've heard some cons and pros to Hinge.
Yeah,
I've
me
heard a lot
too.
of
Yeah.
Cons
Just
also.
cons. Every time I see it on TikTok, it's just like Hinge is horrible. Don't go on Hinge.
Really?
Don't download Hinge. Crazy people, stalkers, everything.
Really? That's
Yes.
crazy. My cousin found the love of her life on Hinge.
Wow, maybe it was in the beginning. I don't know.
The thing, when I was on Hinge, the concept is supposed to be, it's like the dating app that you're going to delete.
Right.
The issue with it is that it's still a dating app.
Yeah.
So what happens, you find yourself, sure, you talk to one person, but then someone else pops up. So it's like the monotony of the dating apps just continuing. Not the dating apps continuing. What am I trying to say? Oh, yeah. When you meet somebody, you don't really get a chance to get to know them because someone else done match with you, you know, and you just keep on that cycle. And so, then I started realizing it's just like all the other ones, just slightly different. But your cousin, you said, met the love of her life.
Yeah.
How long did it take her while she was on the app?
Oh, you know what? I actually don't know. I don't know how long she was on the app before she met her girl, but I don't think it was long.
It wasn't that long?
Well, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I honestly have no idea. I don't want to lie.
So so I think it's the dating apps kind of keep you in this cycle of just the next, the dopamine effect of how many more people can you match with and etc.
Yeah.
But who wants to answer it first? I want to get y'all take. You want to go?
I can go. So for me, if we're going to talk about dating apps, I don't think that it's easier to do the dating app as opposed to just in person, because you're still that like whole thing where it's like, oh, a person's not going to judge you. It's easier to talk on. Like, I'm clicking you because I judged everybody else and I'm not judging you at this moment until you say something wrong or whatever. I feel like more people are like, if you're already in the mindset of like, okay, at this point I'm gonna have to find the person, I can't just stay in my shell, and you start opening up, then I think meeting in person would be easier. But I also think that if we're gonna talk about like just social media, I think people can find people on social media, because it's like nowadays we can't ignore the big impact that social media has on our lives. Like, we use it to judge people. We used to make character decisions about people, like, oh my god, like, why aren't they on social media? Or they are on social media but they have all these followers, like, is it fake? Are they fake? Like, all of this is being made when we look at a person on their profile. So when you're like, if you're DMing somebody, I feel like that could work out. I mean, me and Shabach started with the DM, so and now that's like being a consistent story. It's like, oh, DM, oh yeah, we want to date, but he DM'd me or she did, or Simone Biles, Jonathan Rose, or whatever. So dating apps, nah, but just like regular social media, I think it's
agree with that.
Perfectly fine.
I can see that. Obviously, there is, like you said, that's how we met. So there's a sense of biasness within meeting someone on it. I think for me, I see the cons and pros to it. And I think I have seen a lot of the cons when it's not a mutual connection from the beginning, where there's not a mutual interest from the very beginning of, oh, I find this person to be very attractive. I find this person to be very attractive. Let's make it happen. One of the cons that I believe comes with when you're meeting people on dating apps or on social media is the comparison. So similar to what I was just saying, whereas the next person you can match with, but even on social media, where 20 plus years ago, when you met someone, you met them in person, and you had to only focus on them. Even if there was other people in the room, you look like a bad person if you kept looking at everywhere else while you're trying to talk to this one person. So you had to focus your attention on this person, talk to them, get to know them. When you hopped on the phone, you had to hop on the actual phone call. There was no texting. There was no distraction of, oh, this person, just DM'd me, and now you lost interest in the person you're texting or talking to now. Then the comparison of who is more attractive. Who has, from my perspective, as a guy perspective, typically women are looking at what guy is most attractive, or what guy has the most money, what guy's the tallest, what guy's the most muscular, has the most charm, all those different things. And so typically where in person, you didn't have that comparison. Sure, you had the comparison of other people that you may have met, but it wasn't as quickly. And I think our attention span with meeting people has lessened extremely, which is why we take connections and meeting people for granted.
Yeah. I agree with both of what y'all are saying. To dive in deeper to what you were saying, it's kind of like the illusion of choice.
Yes.
That's what I kept getting when you was talking. I do agree that like social media and dating apps make you have the illusion that you can choose between anybody and that anybody is available to you. So for me, I was struggling because like I was saying, I, as social as I am, as far as like I do go out a lot, I don't necessarily interact with a lot of people unless I already know you. Then I'll interact with you, or unless you come to me and try to talk to me, but I'm not one to just start a conversation. So I'm like, dang, if I'm having trouble starting the conversation with people in person, do I want to open myself up to the option of being able to meet people online and breaking that barrier through text, and then we can meet up in person? I went back and forth on that. It took me a long time to even download the app, because like I agree with what you're saying. Like, it's just, there's weirdos, like you were saying, like, just, and then it's the dopamines that you were saying, like constantly going on the app and hitting X, like you're not.
Oh, you was X.
Yeah. So yeah. For me,
but that's a good question. Hold on. Why were you clicking X?
I just wasn't like, they just nothing about nothing about their profile made me want to be like, I want to know you.
And see, that's the other kind.
Exactly.
Is that there have been a lot of people who, just even as a photographer, videographer, where people don't know how to take good pictures of themselves. And so they don't know what is a good picture. They don't know that, you can smile with your gums. Maybe just, a little less smile.
Right.
Maybe you should turn to the side a little bit more. And so women have said, more specifically women, hey, y'all have said that y'all would cancel out on the dudes for simple stuff like that. Now, granted, guys do the same thing, but y'all women kind of got the whole picture thing on lock.
Well, I think that it's kind of like, if you don't care about this, what else are you not caring about?
Well,
if
typically
you're not
guys,
caring about, well, I've seen plenty of guys who I met them in person. They're just like low key people chilling, but if you look at their profile, it don't look crazy.
See, this is why.
It don't look. I'm like, what? It don't look crazy. So for me, it's like, I've also come, like, some dudes that may have DM'd me or whatever, and I look at their profile, I'm like, not particularly like your profile is hideous or crazy or nothing, but like, I could tell that you and I won't mesh.
But how?
Because of what you're posting. Like,
talking about on social media or on the dating app?
No, I mean, not the dating. I don't really do the dating apps, but
you didn't.
I didn't.
Right.
Oh.
Okay. Y'all talking.
Okay.
I was like, what? I'm saying that even on the dating apps, for me, I don't know, like, what do you mean by profile? Because all I see is, like, it's a picture, there's some words, and I'm just judging off just the picture of what the person posted to chose to put on the thing. So if you're not putting your best picture forward, and it's like we can't all make the excuse of, oh, I'm not a social media person. Like, we're in it now. We're in like the age where it's like social media is that thing that if you don't have it, you look weird.
Exactly.
So
I don't know, you was about to say something.
I don't remember.
So I think that the profiles on dating apps are very limited, which is why I think everyone puts their like social media in their bio on the profiles. Some of the dating apps have it where it's even integrated in it, where like you can kind of see a glimpse of the person's Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I do agree that what you post is a reflection of yourself. Now, granted, some people, especially guys, don't post that much unless you're a content creator. But it's very, again, leaning into the comparison. How if you was to meet that same dude in person, he may have a great personality. He just doesn't like being on social media.
Right. I mean, I don't necessarily like being on social media either, but if a person is interested and I already know that my profile isn't like the best representation of myself because it's not like updated or I'm not, constant postedly. If you're DMing me, now is the time to show your personality. Now is the time to be like, okay, I'm not going to be standoffish because this person doesn't know much about me.
That's true.
So it should be the same thing for the dudes.
Yeah. I feel like we live just what you were saying. We live in a day and age where if you don't post on social media, you're considered weird. We have a friend who she was not trying to consider this dude because he didn't post anything, literally nothing on his profile. Even his profile picture was like, I don't even think it was of him. And so it was like, all right,
What?
you know, but she met him. But the thing, she met him in person. So she had a little bit to go off of because she's like, oh, I met him in person, find him to be attractive, whatever. But that was one of her pushbacks but he didn't really have social media.
Well, it's because it's weird. Like,
Yeah.
I get not wanting to be it, but I'd rather you just not have an account than you do have an account and there's nothing on there.
I feel that.
And there's no like, it just is like, what did you create it for if you're not
To
gonna
scroll.
post anything?
To look.
That's weird. Like, it's like, I don't, it's not like completely weird because people have spam pages.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you don't have pictures on your account. Like, are you a stalker account? Like, are you stalking somebody? Are you trying to, like, do some investigating?
No, I agree
what?
with that. I agree with that. Now, T, you say you got a story? Or did you already tell
That
us?
was the story. Just like I was just struggling between whether or not I should
See,
download
I'm
the
thinking-
app. No, okay,
Gonna be
okay,
some
okay. No,
juicy
I do have it. I do
stalker
have
from the
it.
dating
You
apps.
okay?
Story
If
time.
y'all
Put me
want
in
to
the back
get
of a
into
car.
it, story time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I downloaded a dating app.
You want to
Like
say the name?
it was.
Hinge?
Yeah,
Same
it was
one?
Hinge.
Okay,
Yeah, it was.
okay.
I
So you've only done Hinge?
I've only done Hinge. Yeah.
What made you not want to do all the other ones?
Well, the only other one I think I know is Tinder, and I
Not
know.
Bumble?
Oh, Bumble.
And
I think
then-
I tried Bumble too when I downloaded Hinge. I also downloaded Bumble back in like June.
And then there's some LGBT, ones.
Like Her, I think I've heard of Her, and then
Okay.
I see Tammy all the time on
Yeah.
but those I feel like those are so new, so nobody's really on them, so I didn't
Yeah.
even want to like
I feel that.
so I went with Hinge. The only reason why I even considered Hinge is because, like I said, me and my cousin were talking, and she found the love of her life on and so I'm like, oh shit, let me see what, like,
Yeah.
So anyway, after my birthday, I went to Houston for my birthday, and then I came back to Atlanta, and I was just kind of like,
And this is this year?
yeah,
No,
well,
23.
2023.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just kind of like, dang, like I really want more people to hang out with. And so that's why I really downloaded the dating app. I didn't really, it wasn't necessarily to like find my partner or nothing like that. So I downloaded it and I matched with this one girl, and it was cool. Like everything was cool, and we vibed really fast.
Right.
It went pretty fast.
And to be clear, you are...
I don't label myself
Okay.
actually, but I am attracted to both men and women, and I
Okay.
lean more towards women.
Okay.
Yeah, so I matched with this girl,
Mm.
and like I said, everything kind of moved pretty fast. We had like probably the longest first date ever.
How long was it? 12 hours?
No, I'm talking about weeks. Like
Y'all was with each other for weeks?
yeah, like
Y'all
like,
moved in with each other?
basically, like, yeah, I basically moved in with her.
God.
This is crazy. I can't believe I'm telling this story. But yeah, and then so me, I am how do I say it? Consensual non-monogamous. And so
Gotta break that down.
yes, I will.
Okay.
Which basically means that I would like to have a primary partner, and me and that primary partner can date people together, or we can date people separately. And we both know about it. We keep it honest with each other. But I want a primary partner. Like, you are my one.
Want a primary partner, but y'all can date one person together if y'all want to. Or y'all both can split off and date separate people.
And date separate people. Yeah.
Wow. So how does that work long term? Like when you find someone else, do y'all bring them into the fold like a poly or?
Well, it just depends on how it flows. Like if my partner finds somebody on a secondary partner,
Yeah.
and they're vibing really good, like that's y'all's business. Like, you don't necessarily have to bring that into the relationship. Just
that.
my main thing is just making sure, like, if you're my primary partner, just make sure that my mental is good, that you're keeping me feeling I'm losing the word,
Satisfied.
Also, I'm not like prioritized. And also there's another word,
I ran out of words.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, just making sure like you're always checking in with me, because I'm your primary partner.
Exactly.
Like no matter what, just as long as I'm good mentally, everything is cool. Because I'm really not one. I feel very like detached to the idea of somebody is mine and only mine. Yeah. So
why is that?
That's a great question.
Was it like, I mean, go there, trauma, or was it like because of other people's trauma, you was like, you know what, I don't want to be locked down?
No, I just believe that. I just believe that like it's healthier to move along knowing that nobody belongs to you. The possession is crazy to me. So but honestly, I'm saying that because that's my beliefs. I'm a consensual non-monogamous.
Consensual non-monogamous.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's basically like we're monogamous.
Exactly.
But non-monogamous is if I'm like
other people.
Yeah. And she's saying the consensual part is like me communicating.
Yes.
I think the non-consensual is where it's like you're cheating.
Yeah.
Or somebody would think you're cheating.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what works for me is that somebody else, like if you are a person that believes like, no, my person is my person, I don't want to share, you are entitled to that.
Yeah.
Everything is good.
Yeah. Okay.
But for me and myself, I like, and it's not even to say that I want to date multiple people all the time. It's just if that option is presented, I want to be able to explore that with my partner being comfortable and secure. That's the word that I was looking for earlier.
Security.
Secure. Yeah. Just make sure that I feel secure. I'll make sure you feel secure, and we can do our thing, you know?
So do you see it being a long-term thing? Like, you are 24.
Mm-hmm.
So do you see it being like into your 30s and on forward?
I feel like this is my lifestyle.
Okay.
So it goes back to just what I said. Like, it's not something that I'm always going to be practicing in. Like, if it flows that way, it flows that way. But I just like the option to be open.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So last question with it. How, because I've always, wondered, I think that's the biggest thing that most people who are in monogamous relationships or are practicing monogamy, feelings, especially from what you're saying. Because even with poly, I can even slightly understand 3 people. And then granted, I've heard that there's different types of polys, but at least from the basic poly where 3 people are in a relationship with each other. But you were saying the consensual non-monogamous is where y'all bring other people potentially into it, obviously with communicating. So what about feelings where you've been with your girl for X amount of years, 3 years, but then you bring someone new into the fold? How does those dynamics realistically play out? Because I know people who, just from a friend standpoint, I know guys who they got a female best friend for years. Now that he is in a relationship, that female friend got to step back, or it's an issue. So when we're actually talking about people that y'all are in relationships with, basically, how does that happen? Like, is there jealousy or? So
are you talking about like bringing somebody in and y'all 3 are dating, or are you talking about the outside, like y'all are both dating separate people?
I guess it would lean more into the separate people, because I'm assuming that when you're bringing it together, that would lean more into the poly type of situation.
Yeah. So if we are dating separate people, as far as like feelings, so like I said, and I'm speaking only for myself, I'm very like detached. Like no matter how much I care about somebody, it's just the feelings of jealousy or the feelings of like, oh, I have to share my person. It does not bother me. I just
Detached.
yeah,
Okay.
I've always been like that. Like my whole life before I even started dating, I remember growing up and being like in elementary school. I'd never really felt a sense of like jealousy or anything like that. Yeah. So
if since there's detachment, what attaches you then? Is it like compartmentalized? Like
yeah, it's like compartmentalizing. Yeah, it is
Okay.
like that because, like I said, as long as you're making me feel secure, as long as our relationship is good, the communication is good, like as long as we are good in our household, I don't truly care what you're doing outside of me. Real, like that's just me, though. I don't really care. Just make sure I'm good, you know.
So it sounds like the making sure that I'm good, I guess, is the answer, I guess, to my question.
Yeah.
Is the answer to the question between the two of y'all. But I think it also kind of answers the question on the other hand is that y'all are going to make sure y'all are good. And if one of y'all are not good, that means the other person got to go.
Yeah. But also, there is also an option where if you feel like that person is satisfying your needs more than me, then we can split.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just life always flows.
I feel that. So you was basically setting that up to say that you was with this girl.
Yes. So yeah, I was with that girl, and when we had our very first date. Okay, so maybe our second date was the longest date ever, but our very first date, I told her this is my lifestyle, and she was like, oh yeah, very receptive to it. I wanted to explore that too, and I was like, okay. And so we talked about that more, and so as we go along, I'm telling her about, because I was talking to other people before her, but I was working on her potentially be my primary partner because I just really liked her vibe. Like it seemed like we vibed really good. So I was just like being open to her about the other people I was talking to and whatnot. And like she would just be kind of like feeling away. And so I would talk to her. I would try to see what's going on, give her reassurance, whatever. And so one day we went to a party and there was a girl at the bar and she was doing her own thing. She was chopping it up to some other girl. So she was doing her thing. I was talking to the girl at the bar. I'm flirting with her and everything. And I'm like, let me get your number. So I got her number and I was like, hey, by the way, I do have a person, but we're open to this. So I just want to make sure you're comfortable. She's like, oh yeah, no worries. I appreciate you telling me.
Right.
So she gave me her number. All right. So as soon as she gave me her number, me and her were done talking. I went to my girl and I told her, hey, just got this girl's number. So she was like, okay. And then she eventually asked me some questions. Why did you get her number? And everything. So we had the conversation. Yeah, I got her number because I thought she was attractive. I would be interested to want to explore that and everything, and just answering any questions that she had. Yeah. So we went about the night. Everything was good. I wake up the next morning and she's giving me the cold shoulder. Ooh. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I thought we handled this. I thought we talked about this, Yeah. So she was giving me basically the cold shoulder. And I'm a person, and this is probably toxic. Maybe y'all can tell me. But I'm a person, once I get it off my chest, once I feel like we talked about it, I'm good. I'm done. Ooh. If you have something more to say, you need to come to me. I'm not going to inquire. Okay. Like, because that's just like, it's just not worth, I'm not going to say it's not worth my time. It just frustrates me because I don't know. It just frustrates me because I just rather just talk to me. I guess because of how I am. I'm a very open and understanding person. So I don't mind talking through things, however many times we need to talk about them. But I'm not going to keep doing it if it's not brought to my attention if we have already initially done it. Yeah. So she's giving me the cold shoulder. I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm going about my day. I'm doing X, Y, and Z, just chilling or whatever. And the next day it carried on to the next day, and I'm getting irritated because why are you giving me the cold shoulder? Like, we talked about this. Yeah. So if you have more to say, like, go ahead, let's go ahead and talk about it. So eventually I just told her, like, yo, what's up? And I ended up, or before I talked to her about it, I ended up writing like this list of things just to like make sure I was clear-minded when talking to her and making sure I followed everything that I had in my head. Yeah. So I wrote this, or not a list, it was more so like a note to myself. I wrote it, I read it to her. Basically the note was just saying like, hey, I don't know if this is for you. Like, this is not the first time you've done this. Like, I don't want you to hurt your feelings because I can't hurt your feelings. I'm just being honest. I'm telling you every single thing that I'm doing. I'm not lying. So I don't want you to hurt your feelings trying to be comfortable with something you're not comfortable in.
Okay.
And she was just like, it's not that I'm not comfortable. Like, maybe it's just that I need to find a person also to have. And I'm like, okay, then do that. Like, but don't take it out on me. Like, that's something that you have to explore yourself. Eventually I just told her like, hey, I just think me like staying here as often as I am is like blurring the lines of like what we're doing. And so maybe we just need to like have some space apart and like go ahead, and maybe we're moving too fast, like get to know each other more or whatever. In so many words, I can't exactly remember what I said.
And to be clear, this was in Houston.
No, this was in Atlanta. After I came back from Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know why I mentioned Houston. It
was
was
like,
just like,
you just packed up your stuff and I was just chilling in Houston.
No, it was after I got back from Houston. It was like right after my birthday.
Okay.
Anyway,
so you had basically
thank you.
said that she maybe should do her own thing.
Yeah.
And she has suggested that maybe she find somebody.
Yeah, that she needs to find somebody else to talk to. And so I was just basically like, and then maybe we also just don't need to be like staying together as often as we are. So I had to go to work the next day. So I told her like, hey, after I get off of work, I'm going to come here. I'm going to pack all my stuff. And so so that's exactly what I did. I went to work, came back, and I started packing my stuff. And she's like trying to have conversations with me. I'm like, I'm not really trying to do that. Like, I'm just trying to get my stuff and trying to go. And maybe I didn't handle, even maybe.
So you was irritated at this point.
I was irritated because it's like, why would you have to do all this when you could have just talked to me more about it, you know? So yeah, like I am irritated at this point. And I didn't really want to talk anymore. I felt like I said everything I need to say, and I'm just looking for that space because you irritated me. I don't really want to be around you right now. And so, I came to her house, started packing my stuff so I could go, and she's just like, you don't want to talk, and she's like grabbing me and stuff like that. So long story short, it ended up escalating, and I ended up like just trying to get out of there as fast as I could. And yeah, I was just like, that is something I never want to go through again. I learned from my mistake. I was
what
like,
was the mistake?
The mistake is moving so fast, like moving as fast as I did. Like
she was like, oh yeah, they met the second date. Y'all are chilling like all the time.
Yeah.
So do you feel like
way too
that
fast?
Is fast.
Like,
That's definitely fast. But do you also feel like it was because, I know on Hinge or I don't know because I never tapped into like, is there like a LGBT like type
side?
Side of it, or like, you know how people will say I am what you said, consensual non-monogamous.
Yeah.
Is there something that
it breaks it down, like you can go through your relationship type, what you're interested in, you can put all of that stuff on your profile.
And so y'all met on there and she already knew the non-monogamous the consensual non-monogamous. Okay, she already knew that.
She just thought, I think people just click stuff and then they think maybe she had other interactions when it wasn't actually consensual non-monogamous, and so she kind of like it just ended up being monogamous or something, like, or even if it was like maybe she was always the one who found somebody else but the other person was just chilling or whatever, and maybe that's why she just was doing too much when she saw you. Like, I think maybe she just wasn't prepared for my person is gonna be with other people. Like, I don't think she was prepared for it. And maybe that's why she couldn't wrap her head around it, because what you're saying is you were honest from the beginning, even like literally after you got the girl's number, you're like, hey, I just got her number. So for me, it's like, okay, well then the issue is not communication, the issue is you accepting the situation, which is what she didn't do,
and that's not my problem.
So do you also feel like based off of how you explain the consensual non-monogamous, you have two people and then y'all do your own thing,
or we can do things together,
and this was in a matter of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it could have been on you or the lack of communication, but where maybe she felt some type of way, not because of the circumstances, but because she felt like y'all didn't get a chance to develop something before y'all go off and talk to other people.
Yeah, and that's something that I took into consideration also. That's why I'm not trying to be on here acting like she was just crazy. Like, I understand that there's definitely some things that I could have done differently as well, like for sure. One of them being not moving so fast. That's like number one. But outside of that, like, because I do remember having a conversation with her, and I told her like, hey, like, even though that I am interested in this, like, I do want to focus on you for a little bit amount of time. And I thought it was a little bit amount of time. So
2 weeks.
Well, we were doing our thing for like a month and a half, almost 2 months. So like, I'm just saying, like, the second date was like the longest, and I basically moved in. Right. But we were doing our thing for like probably a month and a half, 2 months. And so I'm probably going to say it a million times within this podcast, but I'm a Gemini, and I hold that like
Team Gemini.
Yes, I hold that very dear. I feel like I'm a true Gemini, and my mind can change like that. So yes, I'm telling you, I want to focus on you, but shorty, just, you didn't see how fine shorty was. Like, I want to talk to her also. Like, so yes, I do want to focus on you. I do, but like, also, can I see what she's about? And I make sure you're good too, but can I also see what she's about? And I think that's just kind of what happened that night is I saw her and I was like, oh, I want to get to know her also, you know? So
I feel that. See, for me, in my Gemini-ness, I'm like, I tend to be fixated in a lot of different fields or different things that I like to have my hands in. So music or film, content creation or whatever. And it's very difficult for me to make up my mind on what I kind of want to, do. But I feel that. So move a little slower next time.
Yes, for sure. And for sure, I'm moving super slow. So so I deleted the app after meeting her. Actually, I deleted the app.
Okay.
And then
so technically, Hinge was right. That made you delete the app.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was also tired because it's very exhausting being on dating apps. So I deleted the app, and then I correlated the dating app to her and that experience. And I was like, I never want to experience anything like that. So I just had a lot of resistance doing dating apps. But now I'm in a point now where it's like, dang, like I want to do more. And like, so let me see if I can find somebody I can do more with. And so, I ended up downloading the dating app probably maybe not even a week ago. I just downloaded it. I met a couple people so far. It's been cool. I met one girl, and she's been cool. Nothing like that. I don't know. Everything's a flow, like I said. So if we go that way, then cool. But if not, we can be friends. It seems
like you prefer the girlies.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I lean more towards women for sure.
Is it? I'm still learning all these terminologies. Is it more like the films, is it like feminine, or is it like the studs?
So for me, I feel like I'm attracted to both.
Okay.
Masculine presenting and feminine presenting women. My thing is just more so like a balance. I feel like I'm a person who is very tapped into both my feminine and masculinity. So I've been attracted to women, whether you are mass presenting or femme presenting. Like if mask. So
masculine, film meaning feminine.
Okay. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. So if you're mask presenting or femme presenting, like as long as you have that balance, like because there's some people who lean way on the other side. I don't want my girl to act like a nigga. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I don't
You good.
I don't want my girl to act like straight up dude, because then at that point I'll just be with a dude, you know. So
I've always wondered that. You know, I'm like, if you acting like a guy, does she not just want a guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I've seen there's this couple who went viral a few times on TikTok because the one who's typically, I guess, the mask can do both, and she does both. So 1 minute she's popping up in a whole bikini and makeup and everything, and next minute, the whole baggy clothes scenario. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
like that.
There's also another terminology called STEM, which is basically like stud
I've heard that
femme.
too.
Yeah.
So that's what?
A stud femme mixed together. Like STEM. So like you in your clothing, how you present yourself, you can see both the masculine and feminine out of you. Wow. So like Kaylani or Aaliyah or Tiana Taylor. Like
Tiana Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Tiana, they always talk about.
Yeah, is she? But I thought so. That's just her appearance.
Her appearance, yeah.
But
like
that's not her sexuality.
I mean,
is this her sexuality?
We don't know for sure, but I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty sure, but it's
really
not confirmed or not.
I mean, they got divorced. So.
Yeah.
Oh, her and the man.
Yeah, they're in the midst of it. I think the midst of divorce. Yeah. Okay. That was a wonderful story time.
Yeah, that was a lot. I feel like I just completely exposed myself. If Shorty is watching this, I just want to say, like, it's no beef. Like, I never want to see you ever again in my life. But it's also like
no beef. Cool. But I never ever. Don't you dare! If you see me walking on the side of the road, you go on the other side.
Just like we don't need to. We don't. Yeah, no.
Is it if y'all happen to be at the same function, one of y'all dipping?
She needs to go.
She needs to go.
Yeah, because I feel like if me and her pop up at a function together, I most likely know people at that function, and you don't, so you need to go.
Wow.
Not you don't know nobody.
I'm thinking she about to be like, listen, I mean you no harm.
No.
Still love you. She just went in.
No. Okay. I never want to see you again. But I also apologize for any faults, not any faults, because I know I for sure had faults, but the faults that I had, I do want to apologize for them, but I don't ever need to see you again.
Do y'all still follow each other on social media? Blocked?
She said she don't want to see her. Why would she be on social media?
She's not blocked. No,
she's not blocked.
Mm-mm.
So she could be looking at your page.
She could
be,
and she has that right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't talk to me.
Hey, I was we was talking the other day. TikTok allows you to see who see your
she
profile.
actually just viewed my profile a couple of days ago. I was like, why is she on my profile?
I hate TikTok. I don't know why they did that. Like, I don't get it. For the most popular influencers, they're not checking to see who looked at their page. And then all it does is provide anxiety for people who aren't famous.
Right.
I'm like, who are you? I've never seen you in my life. Why are you on my page? Why are you saving videos? Like, that's weird.
Or the opposite. I know you from work, church, school, whatever. You don't really talk to me. Why are you looking at my page like that?
Why do you keep going on my page? There's people who keep going on my page. Like,
I can't. We was talking about it. Like, sometimes if you got their contact, it'll keep suggesting it.
Yes, I hate that too.
And so every time when you look at their video, it's just going to say you looked at their.
Yeah.
Wow. So, look, at the end of the day, we're in the day and age of meeting people on social media. I would say, I already said my cons. The pros is, I would say, even what has, fed into, my addictions, and just the constant monotony of finding someone else. Like, you just feel like you got to keep messaging someone, keep matching with someone, is somewhat easier. Not even somewhat. It's very easier to meet someone on social media. First of all, someone that you would have never bumped into in real life.
Right.
Secondly, where if you know how to do it right, and this was what got me caught up, is once you start learning how to, be charming through text messaging, voice memoing, whatever it is, you tend to realize, oh, okay, I kind of got like a little system. And most guys can talk about how they've gotten caught up. I think even women too, but because guys are the ones that are typically shooting their shot first, where you get caught up in kind of being an online player. So you're messaging a bunch of different women, maybe even using the same message. You know how to use the voice memos when your voice is a little deep or whatever. And so it works, but the issue with it is that you get, at least I know I was getting caught up in the dopamine of, okay, talk to this person. Oh, who are you? Da-da-da. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Chat with them maybe for a day or two, and then you go to another DM, and you just keep doing that. So then you start realizing, at least I did, I was getting addicted to the dopamine of someone new, and they're kind of validating, oh, okay, let's get to know each other, da da da, instead of actually getting to know this person. Now it will be to the point where months later, oh, you stopped talking to me, or I'm like, dang, I forgot about them. You know, you see their profile pop up, they looked at my story, oh shoot. And so it has gotten very redundant, like I was saying earlier. But if you use it well and you understand discipline, you can find your wife. Just most of us aren't willing to have that discipline. It's just one person, that's enough for me, and move on, you know.
That's crazy. I have like the opposite experience.
Really?
Yeah, it's more so.
I mean, well, you're a woman, so.
Yeah, I get tired. Like, I'm tired of having to say, I don't want to get to know you. I don't want to keep getting to know somebody new. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like that. I also think just because of social media, where the constant scrolling dopamine, where you go from one video to next video, one post to next post, that it has trained us to just keep going, you know, instead of taking the time and being exhausted from getting to know someone. Wow. Well,
that was a good conversation.
It was. It was. Let's go on to our next segment. I told y'all next time we was going to have it. And I feel like this is kind of just on time with our trending topics. But let's tap into the funny bone. I don't think y'all ready for this one. Let me make sure the volumes are good. Okay, we're going to make sure and pull this up right here. All right, I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
Yeah. I remember them days trying to get paid. We was hungry than a bitch. Don't switch on your brother, don't f with no others, don't let another nigga diss.
What?
Did my ears fool me? Come again?
I did not expect him to. That's not what I popped. I was not expecting him to pop up and say that.
When I first saw this,
don't play this at church.
Yeah.
No. The background definitely fools you.
Oh yeah.
Hey, the beat is fire.
It is.
I'm not gonna lie, but how you say he's so good and then you just
Did he say he was broke? Did he
broken
say
in the
hungrier
he
than a
did.
bitch?
He surely did.
Like, and then at first I was like, okay, maybe there's, you know how like some people just talk and you know that's just how they talk, but it is like 4 other curse words after that. You're
right.
like, oh, this is intentional. This is
Exactly.
you're purposely cursing.
He got on the church robe and everything.
And the gospel song.
Yes,
Right.
That's crazy.
And then
That's hilarious.
I'm like, look, man, if this is how church gonna be, maybe we should have more church like this, huh?
Oh my God.
Huh.
Nobody's gonna be praising nothing. They gonna be just laughing,
Right.
being like, oh, hey, and you gonna forget you was in church.
Well, speaking of forgetting that we was in church, we're gonna go to our next segment called Trending Topics. So let me see how to say this. So I joined this church when I was about 19 years old. And listen, in all honesty, I love the church. This church has cultivated, I would say, an atmosphere for young adults and even millennials to come and worship and praise God, while also, you know, still bopping, you know. I'm gonna just play the video. Some of y'all may already know what I'm talking about because apparently it went viral. Let's dive in.
A viral church video is causing controversy around Metro Atlanta. The bishop played a popular rap song in a New Year's Eve service, and some people are not happy with this. Channel 2's Audrey Washington live at the Dream Center Church of Atlanta in South DeKalb County. Audrey, the bishop told you the music was part of his sermon.
He did, and Linda, that sermon was delivered right there behind me inside the Dream Center Church of Atlanta. Now, Bishop William Murphy told me he has heard the criticisms and believes those criticizing him took the video out of context.
Walk it out. Hey,
This is not what you normally hear or see inside of a church. People dancing and swag surfing between the pews. It happened during a New Year's Eve service here at the Dream Center Church of Atlanta, and Bishop William Murphy is explaining why.
There's a church who gets me, Audrey, which was the whole point of the ministry.
Bishop Murphy says he wants church to be relatable. He was preaching out of the book of Acts, chapter 3. That's the story of the lame man who needed help to get up and walk.
We were talking about 2024 being the best year of your life so far, but there was a responsibility to watch the prophet and then to work the prophecy. And so the working of the prophecy was to walk it out.
But not everyone believes secular music should be played inside of a house of worship. On social media, people wasted no time weighing in. One woman wrote, quote, "I might as well stay in my car, the club, etc. if there's no difference in the church." Another wrote, "There's no way to justify it." But some support the bishop's decision and wrote, quote, "This man is an awesome bishop and the younger generation gravitates to his church."
When people walk in our sanctuaries, there ought to be something that they can relate to.
And Bishop Murphy told me he played the clean version of the songs and that if he is moved by God again, he will do it again. And we are live here in South DeKalb County. Audrey Washington, Channel 2 Action News.
So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all talk first. I'm gonna let y'all go first. You wanna? Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so for me, I've come to a kind of as a Christian, I have come to an understanding that well, for me, what I believe is that just people get saved. And so for me, it's like, it doesn't matter whether I disagree with what the pastor is doing, what whoever is doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're believing in the same belief as me, it really doesn't matter. For me, that's what I think. What I've seen a lot of people talking about is like, you know, giving respect into the worship area and everything like that. But I think also people like don't take into account the fact that this is Black culture. And so for me, it's like, I'm not seeing nothing wrong per se. Yeah, like it's not like the song that we just watched where you saying praise God, but then you saying every curse word that's ever existed afterwards. Like, that's not what's happening. What's happening is what everybody loves to do is make a clip of just the song being played in church and everybody just having a good time, and then like condemning everybody for it. And it's like, one, like, I don't, like, they just was having a good time. We were having a good time. We're walking it out. We're walking into the new year. Swag and service played at any type of function at any time where there are Black people.
Yeah.
We all unify as one and dance together. It's like joy and happiness. And for me, I'm like, when we have a younger generation who's coming up, and I remember distinctly being in church and my mom was forcing me. It's nothing else but force that was getting me in that church, sitting there, and we praying into the new year. And I'm not gonna lie, I was asleep into the new year. I was not praying. As a teenager, you was not sitting here being like, Jesus, thank you, oh my God, da, 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 da. You was like,
yeah,
both into the new year. So I'm like, I'm listening to the sermon. He's like, oh snap, this is lit. Oh, okay. Like, it's just like, I just think that if people disagree with how there's a difference between like you disagreeing with, oh, okay, I just don't like a preacher or a pastor who's very vibrant and entertaining like how Mike Todd is. And you may prefer a preacher or a pastor who's just like, we're opening the word, bam. The Bible said this, the Bible said that, da-da-da-da, and you're good. But we are not all the same, and I feel like he's reaching people. And I think that if we all can believe in the same thing, and as long as he's not saying something else, it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. But
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I don't disagree with what the preacher did either. So I agree with you. I'm a person who
And are you Christian?
No, I'm not. That's what I was about to say. Like, I'm a person who considers myself to be spiritual, non-religious. So when I'm seeing this, I was raised in the church, so I have like some sort of connection to like understanding like what the word says and whatnot. But when I saw that video, I thought it was pretty cool. It was a cool idea. And one of the things that I was talking to my friend about was like, that's a way to connect. Like if you're navigating through life and I think his sermon was like walking through tough situations or something like that, or walking in 2024 or whatever. Say you're struggling and you need a pick me up. You can relate back to that moment of, oh, church. Yeah, I need to walk it out. Like, let me get through this, whatever. So I feel like that was a way to reach people, younger generations, whether, and also just not even the younger generation, just like, it's just a way to reach people. And I don't think there was anything wrong with what he did. I know some people were saying like there should be like separation between like what you do in your car and then what you do in the church. And like, I can understand that, but I feel like he was respectful, and that wasn't, just like you said, people are taking just those clips. That wasn't his main focus in the church. Like, he had a whole sermon before even doing that, and that was like the end. So that's I feel like that's what people can take away from that. I don't think it was really negative. And you saw the people in the church, they were feeling that, and they're gonna respect the pastor even more, or bishop even more. Like, you're making it easier for me to be able to relate, because I'm not gonna lie, like back in the day, like the Christians were so like, I don't know the word, but just super
strict.
Yeah, by the Bible and following every single thing, and that's not real life. Like,
and not just were, still are.
Well, still are. Yeah, true.
You have people commenting like that, and
right? But like, we just have to also just think about like how life is, like also, and that doesn't take away from what you believe, but just also be in the real world. Like, I feel like he reached people, and that's the purpose of going to church. You want to touch somebody, and you don't know how that might affect somebody 2 months down, 3 months down the line when they are going through something. They can remember that sermon. So that's kind of just how I looked at it.
Yes, I definitely agree. Now I do understand the nuance to it. Like I said, there are a lot of Christians who are very legalistic now. Legalistic would be the more proper word, of who take every single commandment in the Bible very seriously. And so when Jesus came, as someone who's a believer that Jesus is Lord and Savior, when Jesus came, he actually came to not diminish the law, but to show how the true heart that God had for it. Because a lot of the Pharisees and Sadducees, the ones who pretty much put Jesus on the cross, were basically saying that he was wrong for healing people on the Sabbath, which is the day you're supposed to rest. He was wrong for having women in his following of disciples. He was wrong for so many different things that was good, but he was wrong for it because it went against the did I say it right? The Jewish ways, which was back in the day. So now, fast forward to 2023, we're still doing the same thing. And from people who are supposed to be followers of Jesus, not Jewish. And a lot of Jewish people believe in that value where you're supposed to do things this type of way, you don't stray away from it, you pretty much earn your way into heaven. Whereas Jesus, it's you follow, if you accept me, you have a ticket into heaven, and I will guide you to a better life, which is following and getting close to me. And it's not about trying to do all these different things to now be approved. It's about eventually your life will get there. And the thing that I like about Bishop Murphy's, he's always trying to reach the people who is probably at the beginning of their journey. Yes, there may be some people who may mature to a point where it's like, I don't listen to this type of music, or, oh, I don't want to do this type of thing. But there are people who are not exposed to church, or they grew up in the church and maybe they had such a negative experience from the church, a negative experience from Christians, that I don't want nothing to do with it at all. And you're reaching people where they're at. I would say this. I had a situation or a story where I had to DJ at a church, and they didn't tell me all the information. They was just like, hey, it's a kids thing, adults going to be there, just play the music. So I'm like, cool. So I already know, I've DJed at churches a lot. That's pretty much how I got my start. And I'm like, cool, everything's clean, boom, blah, blah, blah. So we do, I think, one dance routine or one dance song or whatever. Then we go to swag and surfing. So play it, everyone's boom, we doing it back and forth. And then, we get into the song. So then I'm like, all right, yeah, everybody's lit. Everybody in the church is lit. Then next thing I know, it flows. She taps me. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? So then I look over, the pastor, he's like doing this. He's like, turn it off. I'm like, okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was nice, And he didn't communicate nothing to me beforehand, but the issue that I had was everyone is enjoying it. Yeah. And I understand. Now, granted, because of that experience, it made me, okay, let me probably beep out some of the certain words if I'm played in church or whatever. Cool, I'm gonna play this beginning part. I figured out a way to try to appease both sides for people who don't really agree with playing the whole song. But everyone was enjoying it. Yeah. And, it's a troubling thing. Now, from a very Christian perspective, I do understand that we are supposed to be a light to the world. We are not supposed to be of the world. Even like some people are saying, there should be a distinguish between the sanctuary, church, and what we do in the world. I definitely do get it. But when we are trying to reach people where they're at, you have to do something that may be a little risky, or that may not be what most Christians agree with.
I just feel like everything's about intention. Yeah. We're looking at the video. I don't see not one person twerking. Right. Doing any gyrating, grinding, none of that. Yeah. Everybody's having a good time, a good family and friendly time. So intentionally, nobody's listening to the song and be like, oh, it's taking me back. It's taking me back. I got to throw it back. Nobody's doing that. Everybody's like, I know where I'm at. But this is music that we're all familiar with. Yep. And if you've ever been to a black function, you know the energy. When everybody is united into this is a song we all know, like we're just having a good time. So for me, it's like I get the whole Christian thing and everything. I get it. I really do. But I also feel like everything that we do is about intention. And also God recognizes that. At least that's my belief, that he does recognize that I'm not trying to be like this. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what everybody in the world may think what's going on. But I know my heart, and so does God. So for me, it's like, I'm cool. Yeah. And I feel like that's how the bishop thinks, because he's like, yo, like, nobody was doing any of that. I preached the word. We're having a good time. Nobody's being inappropriate. Nobody's trying to do nothing. God knows my heart. He knows everybody else in the crowd's heart. Yeah. We're cool. And
I think they made my phone is on the other side of the room. I think 375 people got saved that night. And so as a Christian, I'm always perplexed with the idea of other Christians who are so caught up in the legalism of how something may have been done, when it's like our first and main goal is to get people, isn't it? It's, to get people to come to Christ.
That's what it's supposed to be. Right.
And so, even amongst different churches, because I was going to ask you earlier what type of denomination you grew up in.
I don't even know.
You got Baptist, Pentecostal, Kojic.
I think it was Pentecostal. think. That sounds familiar.
They're known for being one of the strictest.
Okay. Isn't there one that's
Apostolic?
Yeah.
Use that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apostolic.
So for me, I grew up Baptist and Apostolic. My dad grew up as a Baptist pastor and everything, a preacher. Then we kind of transitioned to Apostolic Church. They, I think, believe in a fivefold. I'm not going to get into all of it. Yeah. It's a lot of different things that they believe in that separates all of these different denominations. And even amongst them, they be arguing amongst each other. Forget about playing a secular song or not, just what doctrine they believe. Should women preach? Should we be Saturday or Sunday? And it's very disheartening, because if our core belief is supposed to get people into church and get people saved and accept Christ, all of these other different things are clouding that space, which pushes people away from church and make people be like, you know what, I'm going to just do my own thing and pray to God or whatever. I'm not going to tap into those Christians.
Also, it's like, so 375 souls were saved. So because everybody disagrees with that, is those 375 null and void?
Yeah.
Does that not count?
Yeah.
Because you happen to listen to Walk It Out and Swag Surf.
Absolutely.
Is that what the answer is to all of that stuff? Like, every time somebody does wrong, like when Mike Todd spit on his brother's face, all those people who watched the sermon afterwards, did they not get saved?
Yeah,
Does
or
that
Easter
not
production.
count? Like I understand criticizing and being like, hey, maybe that's not the best thing, but at the end of the day,
exactly.
what is our goal exactly? To
Yeah.
be entertainers or to save souls?
Exactly.
That's my thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my stance on it. Anything else y'all want to say?
I think that's just so strange that you mentioned that, like, there is even like disagreements within the different, what is it called?
Denominations.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, aren't y'all all Christians? So like, what is the main goal? Like, that's what should be focused. All the logistics is interesting to me.
That's why I do this. I grew up where my dad was, preacher. He started preaching at a very young age. Everyone thought I was going to. And if God calls me to do that down the line, sure. Right now, I don't feel like my place is within preaching in the church and having, because it's political. It's a lot of church politics.
Yeah.
Just from the matter where something as simple as drinking wine, where the pastor and his friends and everything, they drink wine behind the scenes or whatever, or him and his wife, they have some wine or whatever, but you can't say that on the pulpit. And it's very disingenuous, and a lot of it is not sometimes a person's fault. It's the entity that they have to step into. And if you want to be a pastor, if you want to be a leader in the church, if you want to do this, you got to abide by these rules. Yeah. Anyway, that was I know I think I have a lot of friends or people who are going to disagree with me on this, but either way. Our second trending topic, real quick. Katt Williams apparently went on to the Shay Shay Room, Shannon Sharp's show, and it was 2 hours and 40 something minutes of him spilling the tea. We're just gonna look at a few clips. I'm not gonna play the whole thing of these clips, but just a few clips of him talking.
It don't line up. How it don't line up? He thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. My goal was to get this far in Hollywood and still have a virgin asshole. And never have sucked a penis. That was my only goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go, think I'm on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. Because he has 7 TV shows.
See, the reason I stopped was because I 7 shows on TV all at once.
The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story. You wouldn't let an athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act.
Damn, Katt. What happened? What they did to you?
He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere.
Damn.
He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Damn.
Why would you put that in your
So yeah. And it's 2 hours of him dropping bombs. Bombs on bombs on bombs on bombs. Yeah. I'll say first.
Yeah, because I'm like, what?
So Katt Williams has been known for the past few years of going around to different talk shows, or more specifically radio shows or a podcast, and just spilling it out. And a lot of people have, called him a hater, or I know a big feud 2-3 years ago was him, Kevin Hart, and Tiffany Haddish, and he was exposing certain things and about Tiffany and how he actually put her on, and kept like a lot of different things. You can go back to the interview. Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish was promoting a movie at the time, so Kevin Hart pretty much came back and was like, you need help, like Katt Williams, he needs help, I don't know what drugs he's on, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But at least on social media, a lot of people have been believing Katt and been like, I don't think Katt is lying. I think, Katt is telling some truths about it. And it raises a question of, similar with the Monique situation, how everyone was saying she was doing too much. Now, what's her name? Taraji P. Henson is coming out pretty much saying the same thing. Now everyone is backing her up. The conspiracy theorists, we love to deny everything until now the government is saying that aliens are real. Okay, well, 20 years ago the person was crazy who said that.
Right.
Should we be exposing these different things that happens in Hollywood, or should we just let's keep Hollywood separate from real life?
No.
She said that with the quickness.
Everything needs to be exposed. I don't think anything should be hidden. No, that way people know what they're getting themselves into. And I think it's even like when you see all these kid stars, all the Disney stars, all the Nickelodeon stars, look at them now, you know? So it's just no, everything that's getting exposed as it should.
Yeah. I feel that. What you think?
For me, it's kind of like people exposing things after they've gotten what they got from it. Like, you got the money, you got the thing, whatever.
Yeah.
You did what you had to do to get what everybody is essentially looking for, which is money, stability, security, whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of like, okay, so now it's bad after your career is popped off.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's, like, you shouldn't say anything, but, like, I guess for me, it's like with the Katt Williams, all the stuff he's saying, I don't think is worth exposing, because it's not necessarily putting people's well-being in danger, except for the P. Diddy thing. I mean, obviously, it's related to his stuff that's going on right now, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, just another person who's confirming this type of stuff was going
P.
on.
Diddy like to party.
But like the Cedric Williams thing, and I'm sure lots of people noticed, hey, that's the same joke. Like, I don't think people are blind to it. I think that we intentionally ignore stuff. Just like with R. Kelly, we intentionally, all those people intentionally ignored that man doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
Nobody was like blind, like, oh, I never knew that was happening. The only people who was like, oh my God, that's crazy, was people like me and younger who have no idea about any of that. But everybody above, my parents' generation, everybody was looking at that man and being like, huh, that's kind of sketchy, but this is good music.
I think it also, though, feeds into, we are very fickle people. So, like,
what
we
does that
see
mean?
it. Huh?
Fickle. What does that mean?
Gemini. Where we just switch up on what we believe. Like, Doja Cat is a prime example. How Doja Cat was getting popularity on TikTok. Then the stuff started coming out about the racist chat she was in. Then we was like, cancel her. She went down for a minute, and then she made some new music. Oh, she's great. And we're constantly on this little roller coaster with Doja. Same with Kanye, and same with a lot of these other celebrities. And so I think Katt Williams' perspective is that he doesn't like when we are celebrating the Ricky Smileys, the I guess, or P. Diddy's and the Steve Harveys and everyone else he name dropped.
But he's name dropping everybody but himself.
Kevin Hart.
That's my thing.
But in his defense, I agree. But in his defense, people have been trying to name drop him for years. So when you feel like it's not good what he's doing, it's not healthy how he's doing it and everything. But when you feel like people have been dragging your name because maybe he had some substance issues and he got into the fight with the kids back in, I think, in 2014 or whatever, and different things, and people saying maybe he fell off or whatever, and oh, you're not like Ricky Smiley, you're not like Steve Harvey, you're not like Cedric, and he's like, well, I'm not like them because I didn't do X, Y, and Z. It probably gets to you. Or like he was talking about Kevin Hart. I forgot the exact things he had talked about Kevin Hart, but basically saying that Kevin Hart was doing a lot of gatekeeping and he wasn't very integral and all these different things. And I say all this is to say is that it's easy, just like with I just said her name, the actor
Tiffany.
The actor Precious. She played Precious.
Monique.
Well, she didn't play Precious. She was in Precious. The actor Monique. Everyone was mad how she said it. I still don't agree with how she said it, but the fact that she's saying it.
But my thing is, people want to act like, it's like we can't just ignore the fact that the way that you say things and the way that you present yourself and the way that you interact with other people matters. We can't be like, oh, when you want to be successful and you want to do all of this, you need to be like this, you want to do like this and everything like that. But what is your purpose exactly? Like,
but that's why a lot of people like Trump.
But what I'm saying, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, what is Katt Williams' purpose? What are you saying all of this for? Like, I'm not hearing like, oh yeah, you're the leader of whatever thing, union, whatever you got going on that you're talking about. To me, it sounds like craziness. Like I said, a sober Kanye. Like you don't sound crazy like Kanye. But it's like I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying all these people are liars, they're cheaters, they're this, they're that, they're this, they're that. But like, did you stop them before they got there?
Right.
Did you call them and said, hey, this is not cool. This they're gonna tell you to do this. You might not have a virgin asshole no more. Like, are you saying it or are you waiting till afterwards?
I think similar to what you was talking about last episode with Bishop T.D. Jakes, is when you get to a certain level, you can get caught up.
Yeah.
And you get caught up in trying to keep a certain status, keep things at a certain, level. And I think from the benefit of the doubt, that when people feel like I did try to be integral, I didn't take the 50 million, I didn't do certain things, but y'all are calling me out for it, or trying to say that I have fell off, or that I'm not relevant no more, and all these different things, or I'm crazy. But these people, the only reason why they are still relevant and still popping is because they took the 50 million. They party with P. Diddy. They did this and did that.
But
So.
again, at the end of the day, it's like, why are you saying it? Like, for me, it's like, okay, cool.
why?
You could say Steve Harvey did whatever you wanted to do, or whatever he did, or you could say Cedric, you could say P. Diddy. Okay, I'm not saying P. Diddy because whatever. But every person that you're saying, like, all you're doing, it seems like, from the outside perspective, that all you're trying to do is tear down their career. Yeah. And it's like, you're just seeming like an attack, like
bitterness,
attack dog for all these people.
I can so when I was answering your question, it was more so towards like the demonic stuff that is going on within Hollywood and that being exposed. But all the minuscule stuff that he's talking about, like, I can see what you're saying, like, why, what is the purpose? And like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not gonna watch this 2 hour. I'm not. I don't know all he's saying, but the stuff that we just saw, I'm just sitting here like, what? And maybe it'll make more sense if I did sit down and watch the whole thing. But just these clips, which most of the world are probably gonna see, is just these few clips. Is probably gonna be like, what is actually being exposed here? Like, what are you actually trying to say? So I can see exactly what you're saying, but I do still stand on that. Anything that can be brought out, that's like the evilness that goes on in Hollywood and within the government and stuff, that needs to be exposed. And unfortunately, it doesn't get exposed because people will die like with the quickness. So but if you're able to slide it in some way and like kind of be under the radar, but still the message is kind of clear, like if you're able to do that, I think that should be done.
So do you feel like, for instance, with the TD Shakes and P. Diddy stuff, right, how we were talking about the allegations of the little boy, that's the thing. Do you feel like other information should be exposed, like where someone's sexual preference, if they like trans or not, or if they like it up the butt, do you feel like that is stuff that should be exposed, or should that be like, that's your business?
Like, in terms of what? Like,
so there's a difference, like with TD Jakes thing, there's the difference between you potentially molested a young boy, right, compared to you did some wild sexual things.
Oh, the sexual stuff, like you said, it's not illegal to whatever your sexual preference.
So do you feel like that should be exposed?
That's not good. That's not information with any. What am I supposed to do with that? Okay, this guy is down low. Okay, what does that do? That that doesn't mean anything. But with the TD Jake situation, if the allegations are true, dude, you need to be in jail. You need to. I can say a lot more stuff, but no. The one thing about children, off limits. What? No, that's weird. You're weird.
So it seems like the consensus is just pretty much Katt Williams doing too much.
Yeah, it seems like. And why 2 hours, nigga? What? What are you talking about for 2 hours?
2 hours of just slandering people who are quote unquote your peers. I don't understand.
Not peers no more.
Well, I'm saying not peers, but like, okay, I feel like this phrase, you could catch more bees or flies with honey is like literally how people should act when you're trying to change people's minds about things. You do not come like how Katt Williams has come and how Monique has come. People have more sympathy for Taraji because she's not bashing everybody and
the way that she came at it, like she was, I don't know how Monique came. I didn't see that video or anything like that, but I know videos, but I know of Taraji, she was literally emotional. Like people could feel the sympathy for her, which I think is a reason why she's getting better exposure towards it versus how Monique got exposure. So it 100% has to do with how you come about things.
Well, I also think that it feeds into, we like seeing our heroes stay heroes, because she was calling out she was calling out what's his name, Tyler Perry and Oprah.
But so was, I mean, granted, she did do the post where she was like, everything's good, like y'all need to chill, which I also feel like is a PR thing, but whatever. Whether you call out Tyler Perry, Oprah, people have already have their conspiracy theories to begin with those people. So I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, we don't want to hear nothing bad, but it's like, but you was in those movies, you still took that money, like and now all of a sudden you are like acting like this person is the devil. It's weird.
Well, I feel like sometimes, like, how do I say this? I think it's more so like, I'm trying to think of a scenario. Like, say you start something and you're thinking of it in terms of like, oh, this is a great opportunity. I'm so excited. Oh yeah, I want to take this opportunity, that opportunity. But then when you get exposed to it, now it's like, oh, I'm turned off by this. Oh, I don't like this. But you already did X, Y, and Z. Yeah. But now you're just more exposed to what's going on. So I can see how people can switch up, like being naive to what's going on, and then now your eyes are open. And so in some cases I can see where, yeah, I took this money, yeah, I was in this movie because I was naive to what was going on, but now that my eyes are open to it, I do not want to support it. So I think that's a reality as well.
That's true. I guess Katt Williams is just could have had a better approach, maybe. Maybe he needs to write a book.
Maybe he should just
you're like, we don't need to hear no more.
It's one thing if you're doing a comedy tour and you just saying all of this stuff, you're like, yo, this is the truth, but it's also funny, because I'm not gonna lie, watching the little clips and everything, I'm like, wow, that's crazy, haha. But like, and it's not nothing more that I'm taking from it besides haha, because what are you saying? Like, now I'm supposed to just ride at dawn and go attack Cedric the Entertainer because he took your joke, or whoever else he just said? I'm supposed to, like, what are you wanting? What do you want? Like, you already kept your integrity, because you turned down essentially $200 million. You turned down $200 million for your career. And it's like, cool, you got the A. Do you want a cookie? Do you want an award? What am I supposed to do with that?
I think though that Katt Williams has fallen into the trap that Kanye has fallen into, where because your artistry, I'm trying to see how to say it. Some people, they do a good job with, I'm gonna have some bad news to come out while my comedy tour is going on, or while I got this book coming out. That's why a lot of people thought it was the Oscar slap was fake between Will Smith and whereas with Kanye and with Katt Williams, they ain't got nothing, like they just going on tangents. And it seems like they are just trying to find attention, trying to stay relevant. And people will eat it up. The Shade Room eat it up, and everybody will eat it up until the next cycle of something else that goes wrong, and now people forgot about it, and they moved on. So I just really pray that, I don't think he's mentally ill
don't get me wrong,
on drugs like Kevin Hart was trying to allude to. I think though that he has just gotten to a very bitter place. where he was one of the funniest comedians. I say funnier than some of the people that he was talking about. But
I think he's one of the best comedians because I never seen not one clip where I'm just sitting there like I'm laughing every time.
Yeah.
1, 2, just everything that I said, I stand by.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think what he's saying is true.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what he's saying is not true.
Yeah.
My thing is like my whole point is like, what's the point of it being said?
Yeah.
Not that it's not true, or that what he's seeing or what he's noticing or what he's doing or whatever is like, oh yeah, you're lying.
Yeah.
Because it's just confirming all the other stuff that I hear from other people who are saying the same exact thing that he's saying.
Exactly.
So I'm like, oh, okay, it has to hold some truth.
Yeah.
But are you helping with the case with P. Diddy? Are you
Right.
I guess that's how he's helping.
Yeah.
But you can't social media and like going to the FBI or going and saying, hey, I will say that I'm a witness to this.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
That's true. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't think I'm gonna watch the 2 hours either.
Yeah.
But let's move on. So this topic or segment is going to be on you. Tell us, what is your hot take that you're willing to die on? It's like, people hate me for this, but I don't care. She got to think about this.
The hardest thing ever.
Right, that's how I felt
I
last
don't
week.
have opinions that people hate me for.
Really?
Well, one, because I don't say them for
Yeah.
purpose.
Ah.
I mean, but
Take your time.
I don't know. Like, okay, I guess I could say that. Dang, this is hard.
I feel like you're stopping yourself from saying certain things.
She is.
Yeah, because you was like, well, because I just don't say them. So what's an opinion that you don't just say?
Well, the internet is still the internet. So, but okay. So for me, I'll say this one. So my birthday falls in the time of Cancer, and some will say that makes me extremely emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And all my life, I've been told, you are so emotional. You're so emotional. You can't handle anything. You're so emotional. And so that has in turn caused me to like kind of withhold and withdraw. And in doing that, that allows me to observe. What I've observed is y'all are full of crap. As everybody's emotional. For me, unless you're like, I'm seeing the person who's like extremely just balanced all around. Everybody is a crybaby, and everybody is emotional.
Yeah.
You may not be a crybaby, but you got a big temper. Anger is an emotion. Frustration is an emotion.
That's true.
Irritation, emotion.
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to just have this one thing about being like, oh, if you're sad, that means that you're emotional. And then half the time when people are assuming that I'm being emotional, it's kind of like I'm not being emotional. I'm just processing. And at the end of the day, just like I feel like it's a superpower for you being able to process your emotions and then get through it versus you still stuck. I could tell you're still mad. You're mad, like you're angry.
But you done cried, screamed, kicked and hollered. Now you good.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that people put such a negative connotation on emotions. I think people should embrace it. So that's, I guess, my take.
Okay. Hey, to each his own. But no, I definitely do kind of agree with you on that. emotions are given to us for a reason. We should embrace them, and typically people who shy away from their emotions are typically the people who are the saddest or the most depressed or dealing with the most trauma. So we most definitely should express our emotions and everything. I just think sometimes we should regulate it, you know. Maybe.
No, don't. I do agree that you can regulate reactions, but emotions and regulation of emotions are two different things.
That's true.
Regulating your emotions does not mean that you should not have them. That just means you're controlling how it's being perceived to other people.
Right.
Yeah.
But ignoring them completely and then telling other people that they should not have them is wrong.
That's true. That's true. Well, I guess that's your hot take. Mm-hmm. Man. We are now at the segment called Something to Think About. I'm be honest with y'all, it's been a lot going on. Trying to get this podcast up and running. I did not think of something that should be thought about or something to think about. Ooh, she's a savior.
Yeah, I have something that people can think about.
All right.
So a little backstory. Before I came here, I was very flustered. I was just feeling a lot of anxiety because I was supposed
today?
Yeah, because I was supposed to be here. I told you that I was going to be here at 4:30, but I was working and my job, my computer, the system was just being so slow, and I literally was like, all day it's been good, and now when I'm ready to go and I'm trying to rush because I have to go, now it wants to be slow. But I had to finish what I was doing because I didn't want to leave that for later. So on the way here, I'm rushing, I'm getting pissed off, why can't people just drive like they have somewhere to be, I'm just, and then I had to just sit back and be like, girl, relax. So something to think about is in times of just when you're feeling flustered or you're in a rush or whatever, just sit back, think to yourself and relax that where do I actually need to be? And is this a life-death situation? The first thing to think about is your safety. So me being on the road and just trying to rush and I'm not gonna lie, I almost got into a car accident because I was trying to oh my God.
Especially in Atlanta.
Right. So it's just just calm down, relax, take a breath, and just think about how do I say this? Basically, just slow down in life in general. Just slow down and be present in what is actually going on. If you are late to something, you're already late. You're not going to be more late. So just slow down and just make sure you focus on your well-being first. Yes. That's something to think about.
That's good. Oh man, that was good. That is that's definitely factual. I remember we was going to one of my friends' graduation party, and rushing, trying to get there. I'm like, dang, maybe I should get a car. It was a lot. We get there. People are not there.
See?
People, the family is still setting up.
The party didn't get started till 11 o'clock.
See?
And so granted, we recognize that apparently it's a known thing in African culture. They don't start on time.
Yeah.
And in fact, they find it rude if you come on time. I'm like, all right, oh my bad, okay.
Yeah.
But the point is to just relax and understand. For me, I believe that God has a plan, and so it's just chill. You never know what you're avoiding.
Right.
You never know what circumstances may be happening. And even if, right, that there was no higher power or higher thing that was avoiding you from something, just the simple fact of you thinking on that level keeps you at ease.
Yes.
Keeps you at bay. You're like, you know what? I don't know what happened, but I'm chilling. It is what it is.
Yeah. That brings me to another story. Literally on New Year's Eve, there was a party that I wanted to go to, and I left my house later than I wanted to, and so I really wanted to be there for the countdown.
Yeah. And
I left my house at 11:27, I think, and the place is 30 minutes away from where I live. So I'm like, okay, I'm driving. Everything was cool though. I was real chill. I was driving. I know I'm gonna make it. The GPS said I was gonna make it there 5 minutes. I had or 10 minutes actually. So I'm literally at my exit, 5 minutes away from my destination, and the light is red. Then the light turns green. I'm waiting for the car in front of me to go. The car starts moving. I start moving. Next thing you know, rear-ended. Somebody hits me. Somebody hits the back of my car. Yes, somebody hits the back of my car. My first thought is I'm going to keep going because I want to get to this countdown, right?
That ain't me.
No.
Hey, forget New Year's. No. I'm getting money going into the new year. Shoot.
No, because I was just like, I want to be around my people. Like, I knew it was going to be good energy. So I was just like, I really want to be around my people. Like, I want to bring in the new year with good energy, good vibes. So I was like, I'm going to just keep going. But the cops were behind the guy. So they saw the accident. Lights came on. I was like, crap. Well, I guess I do got to stop. So I pull over and I'm a little frustrated. I'm talking to the cop like, hey, like, how long is this going to take? Because I'm really trying to make it to the countdown. And he's like, oh, we're going to try the best you can. So I'm like feeling myself getting frustrated. Yeah. But like one of the things I kept thinking about was there's a reason. There's a reason. There must have been a reason. Maybe you missed something like that can put your mind at ease rather than thinking about something that you can't control. Just accept the situation for what it is. I got hit. I'm taking care of it. All right. And I had a great night still. So it's like I missed the countdown, but I still had a great night. Still brought in the new year with good people, good vibes, good energy. So yeah. And just when there's inconveniences in your life, just think about what you can actually control. What can you control? If you can't control it, don't worry about it. Yes. And it's not even don't worry. That sounds easier said than done. Absolutely. So I get it. But it's just like, just control the controllables.
Yes. There's a prayer called the Serenity Prayer that says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can. I think, and the wisdom to know the difference. And it's just that same thing. Man, I try to live my life with that because I'm an anxious driven person where I like to be in control to control my anxiety. So I like knowing that everything is set in place. Everything is like this. And almost every single thing that I try to do, there's always going to be something that happens that throws it out of whack. And it's just a reminder for me that as much as I can prepare for it, there's going to be something, and you have to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for that. Because oftentimes, as they say, people are not going to remember what you said, but how they made you feel. Yeah. So if you are this high stressed person and you're all over the place and everything, no one's going to want to be around you. Granted, I luckily have had some people to call me out on it. So, getting better with it. But that was clutch, man. That was not planned. That was not planned. I like that.
Yes, of course.
Oh, listen, this is episode number 2 of something that should be talked about. Listen, if you have any topics that you think that we should talk about, please DM or leave a comment. And if you want to be a guest on the podcast, let me know. But until next time, stay safe. I hope you're still in the gym. It's just the first week, so keep going. All right. Have a good one. And remember, keep talking about things that should be talked about.